Elimination Chamber, what a show it was! Do you wanna know what happened? Let's review all the matches and let's start with the Women's Elimination Chamber. I can tell it was a great match. At the beginning it was Naomi facing Becky Lynch, and I can tell you not much happened here between Becky Lynch and Naomi, but when Tiffany Stratton came in number 3, she completely changed the dynamics of the match. Everything became faster and more athletic, and Tiffany dominated Becky Lynch and Naomi. But that was of course until number 4 entered, and it was none other than Liv Morgan. And she was after Tiffany, destroying her with the plexiglass, and Liv had the upper hand for several minutes, and then Naomi made one hell of a move from the top of the Elimination Chamber. But after that she got distracted, and Tiffany Stratton took advantage of the opportunity and eliminated Naomi. So Naomi the first eliminated, and then it was time for number 5 Raquel Rodriguez. And with all her power she came to destroy everybody. And of course Liv, Becky and Tiffany teamed up and tried to eliminate Raquel, but they couldn't. Then Liv Morgan also jumped from the top of the Elimination Chamber directly to Raquel Rodriguez's body, but couldn't eliminate her. And then Tiffany Stratton made another hell of a move with a moonsault from the top of the Elimination Chamber. Then it was time for number 6, and Bianca Belair came with all her power and completely dominated for several minutes. Then Liv Morgan got the upper hand, and at that moment she applied a super oblivion to Tiffany Stratton and eliminated her. And then Bianca Belair applied a KOD to Raquel Rodriguez and eliminated her. And then there were 3, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. And Becky and Liv teamed up to overpower Bianca Belair, and they couldn't, and Bianca was going to apply her KOD to Liv Morgan, but she converted it to a code breaker. So Liv tried to take advantage of that momentum and try a roll up to Bianca Belair. The count was only to 2, Liv got distracted, and behind her was Becky Lynch, who applied her manhunt to Liv Morgan, and yes, that was it. 1, 2 and 3, and Becky Lynch finally wins her first Elimination Chamber match. And as we told you in the predictions video, Becky Lynch wins the Elimination Chamber and will be at WrestleMania. It was an awesome match. I think that Tiffany Stratton was the MVP of the match, so she leaving too soon wasn't really that good. But also Liv Morgan did great things, so in the end, the ending was creative, so Bianca and Liv don't look bad in defeat. And as it was expected, Becky Lynch wins her first Elimination Chamber and will main event WrestleMania. Let's see now what happened with the tag team titles match between the Judgment Day and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And this was of course a very predictable match. We all knew the Judgment Day was going to retain the titles. Of course, the initial strategy for the Judgment Day was to not allow Pete Dunne to enter the match, but when he entered the match, well, things got pretty much more interesting. And at some point the challengers had the momentum and made us believe that maybe they were gonna win the match, but no. At the end it was Damian Priest with a double side of heaven, and then Finn Balor taking that opportunity to apply coup de grace, and that way the Judgment Day grabbed the victory and retained the tag team titles. What can I tell you? It was a great match of course, but it didn't really matter too much at all. The storyline for this match was really poor. The only face-to-face these two teams had was last night at SmackDown. So with no storyline, this match didn't matter much at all. Now let's talk about what happened at the Grayson Water Effect show. Of course this was gonna be a segment of announcements, and the first announcement came from Seth Rollins, telling the WWE Universe that he was close to being medically clear, and so it didn't matter who was gonna win the Elimination Chamber match because he was gonna be 100% at WrestleMania. Grayson Waller was saying phrases like acknowledging the tribal chief, and then he asked Cody Rhodes that why he was so selfish to interfere in the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes said that he was a fan of The Rock, but because The Rock slapped him, now he wants a match against The Rock. And then Austin Theory tried to imitate The Rock, but he didn't do it that well, and then he received a Cody Cutter and then a stomp from Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. So now you know it, the most important announcement from this segment was that Cody Rhodes wants a match against The Rock. And now let's see what happened in the men's Elimination Chamber match, and from the start it was brutal. Drew McIntyre and LA Knight started the match, and LA Knight right away started using the chambers in order to destroy Drew McIntyre. The match between them was really close, and then number 3, Kevin Owens, came to the match and he was on fire. Then he even told LA Knight to superplex together Drew McIntyre, but they couldn't do it, and Drew jumped from the 3rd rope. It was time for number 4, Bobby Lashley, and he came directly to destroy Drew McIntyre. They start reliving their match of WrestleMania 37. They kept fighting, got tired, and they got distracted, and Kevin Owens took advantage of the situation. But he could not eliminate Bobby or Drew McIntyre. Then it was time for number 5, the Viper, Randy Orton, applying his DDT outside of the ring. But Bobby Lashley quickly regained control of the match, and he speared LA Knight, but he could not eliminate LA Knight or Randy Orton. And then finally it was time for number 6, Logan Paul, and oh my god, he couldn't even get out of the chamber because Kevin Owens got into his chamber and started fighting with him using the Elimination Chamber, and it got brutal. But they didn't notice that Bobby Lashley was around, and Bobby threw Kevin Owens through the plexiglass, and then he speared Logan Paul and broke another Elimination Chamber. And then Bobby focused on LA Knight, but he didn't notice that Drew McIntyre was targeting him, and he applied his Claymore. 1, 2, and 3, and Drew McIntyre got the first elimination, and Bobby Lashley was out of the match. Then LA Knight tried to take advantage of a tired Drew McIntyre, and he applied a superplex to Drew McIntyre, then a BFT to Randy Orton, and another BFT to Drew McIntyre, and he was going to eliminate Drew McIntyre, but AJ Styles came, and with several chair shots, he completely destroyed LA Knight. And Drew McIntyre took advantage of that opportunity and eliminated LA Knight. Now Kevin Owens tried to take control of the match, and he applied a stunner to Logan Paul, and he tried to apply a stunner to Randy Orton, but Randy reverted it and applied his RKO, and with that Kevin Owens got eliminated. Now it was time for Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. They went on it. Randy was having back problems, so Drew took advantage of that with a spine buster, but he didn't look behind, and Logan Paul jumped from the 3rd rope, and he was already celebrating because he had his brass knuckles. He thought he was gonna be, and then out of nowhere, an RKO out of nowhere, and that way Randy Orton eliminated Logan Paul. And it was time again for Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Drew was going to hit his Claymore, but had some mercy, and that was a bad choice because Randy Orton out of nowhere another RKO, and he was going to win, but Logan Paul returned, and he used this time his brass knuckles to knock out Randy Orton. And with that, Drew McIntyre only had to cover 1, 2, and 3, and Drew was the winner of the Elimination Chamber match. What a brutal match it was! And he is the right winner. As I told you in the predictions video, he has momentum and the best storyline. So now we will see at WrestleMania Seth Rollins facing Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. What a match is gonna be that one. And finally, let's see what happened between Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. The storytelling of the match was very predictable. And as I told you in the predictions video, we saw a Nia Jax completely dominating and destroying Rhea Ripley. At some moments, of course, Rhea got out of that loop, but not for so long, and of course then Nia Jax kept dominating the match. She even destroyed Rhea, crashing her body through the announcer's table, and the end was coming for Rhea Ripley because Nia Jax was going to apply her finisher, and the count only got to 2. Nia Jax could not believe it. So this is where the mistake comes, because Nia tries to do it for a second time, but Rhea knows what Nia's gonna do, and instead she applies a superplex, and after that she kicks Nia in the head, applies her riptide. 1, 2, and 3, and the crowd got crazy. Rhea Ripley retains the title in her hometown of Australia. It was a good match. As I told you in the predictions video, it had to be seen as an epic win for Rhea Ripley, and it was. It was a brutal fight for Rhea Ripley. So a great win, and she's gonna face now Becky Lynch at the main event of WrestleMania. I really love Elimination Chamber, but I have to tell you that the match that stole the night was the men's Elimination Chamber match. And Drew McIntyre is the right winner, because he has the storyline and has the momentum. And he will now face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. What do you think about Elimination Chamber? Let me know in the comment section down below. And that's it for today. If you like, please share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.